Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
I feel you. On the nerdy den. I don't know why I'm showing you myself.
Are you? Oh, okay. You're a Trekkie.
I'm a Trekkie, yeah.
No, that's cool. I'm totally cool with that. I mean, I'm more of a Star Wars dude, but I definitely respect that side of the nerdy fence.
I used to be Star Wars, and then I was on the fence for so long about, oh no, do I have to pick a side? I had like Star Wars glasses, like existential terror, first song on the album. Like it was deep. See what I did there?
I do. I like that little segue.
Yeah. But then I love Sir Patrick Stewart, so that's always going to be the selling point. I was like, right, Sir Patrick Stewart's in it. It's Star Trek.
Mate, I haven't even watched Picard yet. What am I doing with my life?
I was crying my eyes out. It was just like nerd heaven. It's amazing.
I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to jump in and do it. But my name's Nev. Anyway, how you going, Anabelle?
I'm Anabelle.
Nice to meet
Hello.
you. Yeah.
Hello, Nev.
It's very good to meet you. Of course, the new Cradle of Filth album, Existence Is Futile. I like that little, hey, there's a little nod there too. Hey, there you go. Anyone out there knows that? I point a lot at this time of night. I don't know why. But October 22nd, and I've been lucky enough to hear it, and it's fucking incredible, mate. This thing is awesome.
That is awesome to hear. I'm really glad that you enjoy it. You never know how someone's going to receive an album. It's quite a vulnerable thing. Like, I'm chucking this out into the world. You don't know how it's going to be perceived. I'm so glad that you're digging it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had it. I only just got it today, early this morning, and then I've just been cranking it at work all day. And
gosh, what a waste!
Man,
gosh,
I haven't gotten bored of it. You know what I mean? When you have someone loop, and it was just awesome. It's so good.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you.
I'm raving about it. Here I am raving about it.
Yeah, that's it. Plug how good it is. It's
But I mean, it must be really exciting for you guys as well that, through everything that's happened over the last year, it's finally coming out.
Yeah. Like for us, we finished this album last year, so it's been such a long wait for us, a lot of anticipation, a lot of what is happening. The world has been so uncertain, and obviously I couldn't get my announcement because we couldn't get together for video shoots, for promotion, so it was a really tough time to be able to hold back on this thing we're so excited to share. It almost felt like a roller coaster where you're going up, like, is it gonna happen? It's gonna happen. It's all coming together. And another lockdown. Straight down. I'm glad it's coming out in Halloween season 2. Yeah. That's so Cradle. And it's Metalhead Christmas to have a album drop near Halloween. Very exciting.
Absolutely. And the show too.
Yes, the Halloween show, and my hometown, London. That's very exciting.
That is. I know. Dani likes to do it every year, doesn't he?
Does he? What's he up to?
I think
Palladium was near Halloween, wasn't it? It was October time. Yeah, it's weird to think. I was like, what will we do in the last 2? Two years.
Yeah.
I've lost track of the years. I don't know how old I am anymore.
I'm 62 now.
I probably am. I feel it.
Well, I mean, you were involved with Dani's other project, Devilment, before Cradle. So yes. Did you know him for a long time? How'd you get involved with Dani?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so Devilment was the first time we worked together sort of professionally. So I came into Devilment simply because a friend messaged me and said, I've recommended you as the replacement. I said to them, don't look for anyone else. This is the girl. And I was like, awesome. So Devilment was the first time I worked with him professionally.
Yeah.
We only did one show together ever in Devilment before it went on an indefinite hiatus. And our new material was written with me on, but I never released anything with them. So that didn't really go anywhere. But obviously he knew me and my writing and my vocals. And we were actually looking into doing something together at the time because he was like, oh, I love your writing and your stuff. I was like, cool. And so we were like, should we do something? But then when the position for Cradle opened up, he was like, yo, called me up and said, can you audition? And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting a call from Dani Filth. I'd met him like backstage a few times. Most notably, I was at, I believe it was Hammerfest. I ended up on their tour bus, and that was the first time I'd met him. I was in my bright pink leopard print pajamas. Long story short, my friend got punched in the face by a angry fiance during the Cradle set. He had like a handful of rings and busted his eyebrow open and had to be taken to hospital. So we all run outside and we find out what happened. I'm in these like neon pink leopard print, not just pink, neon. And I'm standing there going, oh my gosh, he gets in the taxi to go to the hospital. And I'm standing there going, he took the room key. What do I do? What do I do? And I'm just wandering around this festival in Wales in my pajamas going, oh Lord. And I heard someone shout my name. It was one of their guitar techs at the time who I knew. I was like, oh, hey. And he was like, do you just want to come sit on the Cradle bus? And I was like, yeah. I ended up on the Cradle bus in my pajamas and everyone was there. We were all chatting and hanging and Dani was there. He was so lovely. I had a really great first impression of him. He hugged me and said, thank you for your company. So that was the first time I'd met him, not professionally. It was, it's definitely a story that stuck with me.
That's a good story. He's hilarious. I've had him on the show a couple of times and he is cheeky and he's just one of the funniest people I know. Yeah.
He's incredibly witty. Incredibly, such a laugh to be around. He's always cracking something and it one-liners and just and he's really lovely to be around.
How's it working with him though? Is it because I'm sure there's times that he has to put his boss hat on, the manager boss hat, cheeky Dani as well. Do you get both those sides of him?
It's weird for me. He's always just Dani. He never feels like my boss. There's never a sort of cracking the whip out and get in the cage sort of thing. He's very, it's really good how involved he is in the writing process. He knows what he wants. Yeah. And he's like, oh, move this bit here, or can it be more like this? So it's more sort of conversational, yeah, it can be more like this. Or do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think I do. And whether I do or not is a yeah, I know what you mean. He's just Dani. He's just I know him as just Dani. He's just obviously, he is my boss. I wouldn't streak through the streets. Maybe actually. I don't ever feel he doesn't ever come across in a way that I am above all of you. Oh
no, he's never seemed like that. He's just very cheeky.
Yeah, I love him, but I am too. So
yes,
it's a really deadly combination. Filth and I together.
Well, I mean, outside of Cradle, you are an incredible songwriter and multi-instrumentalist, and your cover of Wuthering Heights. Holy shit!
Thank you, goods.
No. It's incredible because that's not an easy song to nail.
I was really nervous about putting that one out because I didn't realize that track is considered one of the hardest pop songs to perform ever. People get laughed for doing it, and I was like, oh oh dear, have I made a mistake? Have I dug my grave? I've always wanted to do it, and I did it. But it was really positively received. Because I love things like that. I love experimenting with my voice. And if you go on to hear me do other stuff, you'll hear that I'm very experimental and got a bit of a weird voice. So I fit Kate Bush quite well. Yeah, thank you for your kind words, good Nev.
That's okay. I've always wanted to cover Running Up That Hill.
Well,
I'm having a lot of trouble finding someone to help with the arrangement of that, because I want to do it in a very specific way, and people just don't get it. They're like, "Is it Kate Bush?" And I'm like, "Man, that is a legendary song." So
yeah,
it's
always
hard.
pressure there, isn't it? Yeah, it's a pressure when you like. For me, I'd never cover Queen because I'm like, well, Freddie Mercury is a god,
Yes.
and like I would never attempt that because no matter what, I'm not going to be Freddie the Mercury. So I felt a bit that way with Kate Bush, but it was all right.
What do you mean it's all right?
Right.
Mate, it's hard. It is very hard. So kudos to you, my friend. But I mean, did you come in with a whole bunch of ideas prior to Cradle and said, like, I've got some of these arrangements and see what you guys can bring to the table there? Is that something that happened with this album?
Yeah, they were very open and very welcoming of ideas. So those 3 instrumentals on the album are mine. I wrote those start to finish. Those are my instrumentals. Cheeky self-plug there.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, so they were there was a lot of the material was already sort of written by the time I'd come in, but there was such an openness to have more ideas, because the goal is always to make the best album you can and to make it better than what you did before, to always be pushing and striving for better. So the band were very open to have me submit a load of ideas and to work on tracks and to have that backward and forward, which was really cool, especially coming in as the new guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like right, you sit in the corner. They allowed me to be really, really involved and suggest things. It was a really reciprocal relationship, which is awesome.
Yes. I mean, as you said, because I mean, being the new guy or girl in the band is a very hard thing to do, especially come in and you're like, hey, I've got these ideas. And sometimes people just go, what do you know, new person?
Yeah.
You know?
Off you go.
Yeah, they're like, okay. Back in the cage, new person.
Yeah.
But you know, that it definitely gives the album and Cradle a new flavor, a new sound that I think has kickstarted a new era for the band. It's very, very listening to the album, and even like the last album, it's like a massive jump. I did like the last album, but this one, it really has its own flavor. And I think you have definitely brought something to this band that has, that's going to carry on for years. And a lot of people are going to be saying that 100%.
Oh, wow. I'm going to go really British at a compliment and hide in the corner now.
Oh, come on, mate.
British. It's like British kryptonite. A compliment. No. Just melts like the witch in Wizard of Oz. Thank you. It is weird, like hearing sort of my touches throughout. I like those instrumentals for one. Obviously, my vocal is on every track.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, apart from one of the tracks, which is Discourse Between a Man and His Soul. I think that's what it's called now, which is one of my songs that I had written the chorus and the verse, and Filth loved it. It was like, oh my God, radio ballad. And then I worked with Ashok, the guitarist, and we made it into a full piece. So I'm not singing on that one, but my lyre is on that piece. My lyre is recorded on that piece. See if you can pick it out. So to see like the Annabellisms and to have it fit really well and to sort of find a place where you're sort of at home is a really special feeling. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And the lyre. I mean,
yeah.
where did the love of that instrument come from? It's not a very common instrument these days.
No, so I play the modern lyre, and I think in the UK there's only like 3 players that sort of, as in like professional players. So I'm rare in that sort of world. Long story short with that, during my first year of my music degree, my undergraduate music degree, I always do this. I go, I want to play a new instrument. I do just have a corner. This corner next to me is just stacked with instruments. And what I wanted to play was the hammered dulcimer. That's $4,500, maybe not.
No.
A hurdy-gurdy. That's $4,000, maybe not. Christ. Okay. I found a lie on Amazon Prime. Actually, full circle now. Full circle.
That's
Amazon Prime.
Plug.
Yeah, and it went, and a folk harp as well. And it went from there, and I then went on to, I found a teacher who lived in Ireland, and who on the off chance was just in London at the time. And I said, oh, let's meet for a coffee, and we did. And she went, oh, this isn't really, it's like more like a toy. And she went, why don't you come back with me to Belfast, and I'll give you free lyre lessons and show you what I do. And I went, okay, and got on a plane with this complete stranger and stayed with her in Ireland. And she gave me my first lyre, gave me free lessons because I could already read music. The process was a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And whenever she's in the UK, she'd give me free lessons. And it went from there. It's insane, right?
You've definitely lived an interesting life, my friend.
Smoke and mirrors.
I say the same thing, but you actually have. Yeah, I mean, talking about the recording as well, were you all together? Did you say you were all together for the recording, or you couldn't be?
No, not at all. We one at a time, one in, one out. It was, we had to. I mean, luckily the drums were recorded before the lockdown began because Martin lives in the Czech Republic. So travel would have been impossible. Luckily, that was already laid down. And I think Richard was in the studio when the lockdown was announced. He was like, oh dear. But but it did give us more time to really sort of know what we're doing, flesh things out, and pick things apart and constantly improve stuff. So it worked out.
It definitely did. And you got Doug Bradley on here too again. Well,
yeah, we do,
mate.
I
know.
It's awesome.
I know. As a nerdy dude, if you could see, yeah, like, you know, that's a huge thing. And
yeah. I'm gutted I couldn't be with him. I was like, oh, I would love if him just been there, and I would have just cried at Doug Bradley. Yeah, it's insane hearing like on Us Dark Invincible. I think that's him laughing at the beginning, and that's another one of my songs. I wrote the beginning guitar riff, which I find hilarious, and then Richard and I worked on that song together and fleshed it all out. And I'm like, that's Doug Bradley talking over something. Whoa!
Oh man,
this is insane.
And he did it by Skype, I believe, too. So
I think so. Did he? He did it over something that wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't there
because he's in. He lives in America, I believe.
Oh, does he that? How dare he?
I know. You should be in Australia. You all should be in Australia. You'll all be down here having beers with us. That's for sure.
The dream.
The dream. Well, where I'm at, we're okay. We're okay. But hey, have you got your vinyl yet? Have you guys got your own copies yet? Because this glow-in-the-dark vinyl, I got to get my hands on it. It looks incredible.
I haven't got anything. I haven't got a copy of the album. Oh, where's my stuff? Where's my swag?
Yeah, where is your swag?
Maybe we'll get some swag. I don't know what's happening. I'll have to inquire about the swag.
Definitely the glow-in-the-dark one. Do you collect vinyl or anything like that? Are you into that sort of thing?
No, I'm too poor for that. I'm a musician.
Oh yeah. Gosh. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, I've never collected vinyl. My best friend does. I don't have space. I've got an instrument corner. Where would I stick them?
Yeah, hey, there you go. See, you collect instruments.
Yeah, I'm a musical hoarder. Just not in the vinyl sense.
But I mean, then again, you've got there is another Aussie connection with this album as well. There's the Venom Beer down here in Australia, the brewery.
Yes, I've seen that. That's come out. Yes,
I am very, very keen. Have you guys had any sent to you yet or anything like that?
no, I haven't tried it. I didn't even know it was coming out until we were like, right, post is going tomorrow. Like, oh, is it? Is beer in Australia? Cool. I'd be curious to get my hands on some, have a cheeky tipple.
Yeah. Hey, you need to have where's a campaign saying, where's my swag?
Where's my swag campaign?
Yeah.
Where's
my beer? Where's my vinyl? Where's my boat? I don't know.
Yeah, where's my yacht?
Yes. My cradle of yachts. You know,
terrible cover band.
Yeah, I know. I'm terrible. But where was I? It's late. I don't know where I'm going with that one. But of course, I mean, you are musically active outside of Cradle with your another project. Is it Veil? Is it pronounced?
Yeah, Veil with an E. Yeah, it's just the word Veil with an E. Because it's metal, right? You got to add the extra digits.
That's it. Or drop something.
Exactly. Or have all the X's in.
Depending on the genre. But
yeah.
what's the status of that project? Are you bringing out something new soon?
We just released an EP, so that's still ongoing. Obviously, Cradle is the priority with everything, and that's sort of my main focus. But yeah, I still do my bits and bobs. I've got a cover track coming out soon, very soon actually. So yeah, I still like to. Do you know what? You should give me a list of covers you think I should do. What covers do you think I should do?
Oh. See, this is a very long list. Okay, what's your favorite band?
Oh, no, you can't ask me that. Oh no.
Yeah, you're on the spot now, pal.
Oh gosh. I don't know. It changes from day to day. And I don't know if I have a favorite band. And whatever I say, I'm going to regret. I lose no matter what happens here.
Okay, who's your favorite vocalist of all time? Who would challenge you out of anyone? Because you've nailed Kate Bush already. You mentioned Freddie before. There are vocalists out there that intimidates you that you would want to at least give it a crack.
Dani Filth.
He's very impressive. He is very impressive.
I mean, he is very. I mean, the thing is, with Dani's vocal, it's only he can do it. No one does Filth like Filth does Filth. And he's another vocalist like Freddie Mercury. I'd be like, I'd never be able to touch that. I'd never be able to do what he does. Like, even if I gave it a go, it would just be embarrassing. Yeah, like people have asked me, like, "Oh, can you do a full cover of Cradle?" I'm like, I don't think that would be appropriate if I did a full cover of Cradle, doing all the parts completely a cappella. Yeah, I'd say
that'd be cool.
I would say, yeah, I do it genuinely. I think I would say it, Dani Filth.
Wow.
Oh man,
that's a tough one. Hey, I've put you really on the spot, haven't I? See, I saw my old band open for Cradle here in Brisbane.
Right.
It would have been 10 years ago now. But I watched Dani from side, just watching him work, and him, tuning his in-ears and just making sure everything was just so precise. I was just blown away. It made me respect him so much more, seeing what he can actually pull off live. It's incredible.
Yeah, really, it's a medical marvel that he can still do it. Because there's a reason why only he does it, because only he can do it, because doing that for so long, vocally, I mean, I would say it's impossible, but he's done it.
Yes.
There's a reason why people don't do it, because you cannot do that for years on end. But he still can. He can, and he does. And I look at him, I'm like, how have you done that? What implants do you have? It really is impressive. Like, it's it is. It's a skill that, like with his harmonic screams, that only he can do successfully. And you know his voice is so identifiable. And I love vocalists like Kate Bush. You know it's Kate Bush. It can be no one else. It's Kate Bush. And I think it's the same with Dani Filth. It's no one does Dani Filth apart from Dani Filth.
That's it. He's one of the most unique vocalists in ever. Like I've heard dudes try to replicate him, they just can't. Like those vocals, they just can't. But man, have you ever dabbled in film score yourself? You've done all this.
Yeah, I've never had an actual do it for actual film, but myself, yeah, I do orchestrate a lot and write a lot of orchestral compositions and write sort of like soundtracky type stuff. I really enjoy experimental sort of like layering. So I've done pieces where it's all just my vocal layered. I love layering vocals. So the singles that just like Calling King Chaos, like the choirs on the album are me and John Phipps. So obviously we couldn't get a choir in, and I used to be a chorister because I did my undergraduate in music, bachelor's degree, then I did a master's degree in music. And I used to be a touring chorister during that. And I said, well, I love doing this. Like, you don't need a choir. I'll be the choir. So for, Calling King Chaos, the whole middle bit, that's me. That whole middle section is my voice layered. So I got to use that in Cradle. So there were bits. So the choirs that you hear throughout are just me and this other guy layering in all the parts.
Man.
And I think it worked. I mean, you've heard it. I mean,
I'm so blown away by that. Knowing that I've heard it, I thought that was that's incredible. That's such an incredible feat, mate.
I'm really glad. Yeah,
I can't wait to listen to it again. I'm gonna listen to it again in the morning on the way to work and just.
Yeah, you better. Okay,
I will. Yeah, you'll be checking. You'll be like, you listening?
Yeah, no, did you listen? Give me the time codes where you picked it out. Come on, just for proof. Yeah, listen through again, and you'll hear it's just me and John Phipps.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's a weird thing to say. It's like, I am the choir. Very Kanye West thing to say, isn't it? Like,
not really. It's something to absolutely be proud of. You've worked really hard to get there and make that happen. So,
thank you. I'm really surprised as well. In the studio, they were so open to me to try things. Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do this. It was such a reciprocal open. Because coming into an established band, you sort of think it's going to be like, this is it. They were really welcoming for new ideas, and I'm glad that you said that you could feel like it's a new flavor. That's really cool to hear.
100%.
Because people are like, oh, have you influenced the sound? It's like, I don't know, probably. I guess I'm there. And obviously, my vocal is there, my lyre's there, my instrumentals are there. But it's difficult to say from an insider perspective, and you don't know how that's received or how long-term Cradle fans are going to feel about it, because Cradle's been going since before I was born. So, there's a bit of a disconnect with some of like the earlier stuff, and makes you sound a lot younger than I am. Christ, I wish I was. But yeah, I'm really glad to hear that you felt it was, because that was one of the big things about this album was it has to be different, because there was like a lot of comments that the last two albums were quite similar in vibe. So this next one had to be really, I think having someone else come in and write has maybe helped, because the last two albums, all the keys and orchestrations were done by Martin.
Yeah.
So to have someone else come in and do that maybe has made more of a difference than I realized. Martin obviously still wrote keys and orchestrations, but we both did. So maybe that's added some different dimensions that maybe I'm unaware of.
But you'll be hearing about it. You definitely will be hearing about it, mate. And like,
really, in a good way, right?
Absolutely. And that's what impressed me about it. It's very Cradle, but at the same time, it's something so fresh and so new that will, as I said, I think it's going to carry the band forward in a lot of ways. And that's as a fan, and I think it's an exciting time, especially hitting the road. You're going to be hitting the road with 3 teeth and one of their own, once human, Lauren Hart. Mate, Lauren Hart is an absolute sweetheart. If you haven't met her, you're going to love her.
Oh, connect us if you know her. That'd be awesome. It's going to be. We're actually going on tour. That's to say that this year is insane. Obviously, I'm really excited, but also a bit nervous because it's so uncertain. No one's toured through a pandemic, so it's a bit of a new experience for all of us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's a great equalizer, right? Hey guys, let's tour during a pandemic. But it's amazing to think that we didn't expect anything this year. And next week we'll be in the States. That's awesome.
Next week? Is that next week?
Yeah, the first show is 1st of October.
Holy shit.
I know, right? Time has moved so quickly.
Here I thought it was like August still.
Yeah. I thought it was June 2015. It's fine.
yeah. Man. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
right?
exciting times. You're gonna have so. Have you toured the States? You've toured the States before.
I haven't actually. I haven't toured the States. I've been there to 70,000 Tons Festival.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the same year Cradle were there. Oh, I know, right? I feel like a ghoul, like in the Insidious film. I don't know if you've seen it, like with the I think it's the second one where like the old lady is getting closer and closer to the camera until she's fully in shot. There were totally pictures of me at Bloodstock like a few years ago where I'm in the background of Dani Filth's interview, and now there's just me on the poster, like deliberate. I promise it wasn't. It wasn't deliberate. It just ended up that way.
So good though. It's exciting. It sounds like you've gone from being a fan to joining the band. So that's a special thing as well. And being able to hit the road with these guys who are now your mates.
Yeah. Yeah. I've risen through the ranks. I'm like a Pokemon that's evolved through the many stages of music world. I started doing like the journalism stuff. So I was on the other side of the mic. I was doing the interviews, writing the reviews. That's where I started. And then from that, I started doing PR. Now to actually be in, I knew I always wanted to be in the band. I've trained as a musician, as a singer, and it's what I've always wanted to do. But in real talk, I didn't feel good enough. Like, I'm not good enough to do that. I can't do, all those insecurities held me back. So I did, they call it like being a ghost artist, like where you sort of embed yourself in the world of it, but you don't do what you want to do. Like you want to be an artist, but so you work in an art gallery. Like you don't actually, so you're in it, but you're not. And it became really painful to be on the other side and being interviewing and furthering other people's bands and working on their, like furthering their careers, knowing that I wanted to be the one on the stage. So I'm seeing that journey and how I came into stepping out into my own and going, this is who I am. I am a performer. I am a vocalist. I can do this. And I am finally doing it. It's a really surreal experience, but also a really profound one for me going, I've done it. I've actually done it. And I've found some courage along the way to embrace that and go, this is me. And I'm just going to do it because I want to do it. That's
beautiful, mate.
Thanks, man.
I meant that actually quite genuinely. Like that is a really inspiring story because for a lot of us, it's the same thing. You know, I'm a musician and I talk to bands and do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like. You wanna be there. You wanna express it. Yeah. And you've done it, mate. You've done it, and that is such an inspiring thing. So I'm so stoked for you.
I think it's really important for everyone to know that that doesn't mean that I'm suddenly there and everything's. I'm still insecure. I still have those feelings. That hasn't gone away. People think you're there, so you've got your life sorted. You've got, you're perfectly confident. It's like no. I'm not. I doubt myself heavily. I have really bad imposter syndrome. I think, oh my God, I'm not good enough to be here all the time. And that's okay. It's fine. It's normal. It sounds ridiculous, but it's normal. And that's okay. We all feel it. I talk to the other guys in the band. They feel it. We all do.
Yeah.
Oh, do I deserve to be here? Oh, like you almost feel like you've conned everyone, that you're better than you are, and but that's a continuing journey for all of us. And no matter what we feel, we are physically doing it. There's a disconnect between what you're doing and what you're feeling. There's proof that we can do it because we are doing it. No matter what we feel, it's a really reality disconnect. So it's great. But obviously, yeah, of course it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they say, be careful what you wish for. Yes, I actually am doing the thing I want to do. And so many people are brought up, especially in the arts, that it's not a serious career path. You've got to be sensible. Oh, it's just a hobby. Like, you've got to get a real job. There's sort of like a stigma around pursuing those dreams and pursuing those career paths. Oh, because it's not. But I'm going to be sitting on my deathbed, hopefully in a very long time. Hopefully,
yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
And I wouldn't want to say, I'd rather know I took the chance and it didn't work out, rather than I never tried, but I never pushed for it. And it just so happens that, oh, holy macaroni, I have actually done it. And, oh, that's scary. Of course, I want to run away from it at the same time as running towards it. And that's okay. I am a human. We are all human.
Yes.
And we feel these things. Just because I'm on the stage, it doesn't mean I've suddenly perfected my life and that I know everything and everything's sorted. I'm still learning, and I will be until the day I depart from this little green and colourful blob that we know as Earth. I got very deep, man.
No. That's I love it, because you've said everything that I've been thinking about for a very, very long time. So, I'm glad someone can verbalize that, because it is hard. And the thing I find that a lot of people can't do those things. They don't take those chances. They don't even talking to people like this.
Yeah.
They're scared shitless of it. Like I get people say to me, like, how do you do that? It's like, you just talk to people. But people, you've got to do it. You're right. You've got to just dive in there, and no regrets, mate. That's it.
Yeah. 100%. And just because you're doing it doesn't mean you're not scared.
Yeah, I know.
I've got to do it and not be scared. It's like, you can do it and be scared. It's fine. We recently did Bloodstock, and that was my first show in front of an audience at Cradle. That was top of my bucket list. Yeah. I did not expect that to be my first audience gig. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a warm-up run. I was like, oh my, it felt like so much more than what it was. And people were like, you must have been so excited on such a high. And I felt really guilty, because I was like, I was just terrified the whole time. I was just scared. And people don't expect it. Like, oh, you're there, so you must not be scared. But each performance is different. It always is. And there's always going to be uncertainty, because you don't know how the audience is going to be. Or is the gust of wind going to blow this way? Is my mic going to blow up? It's a lot of people don't fully realize how that world is so uncertain. Yes. There's a lot of waiting around. There's a lot of money you have to put in, and a lot of how much of your life it takes up. And there's no 9-to-5 deal. It can be really hard knowing when to shut off, because you're working on a track till X in the morning. There's no one telling you to go home from the office. It's a whole lifestyle that I think people don't really expect. And it's a lot more work. People think, oh, you just get on stage, play and party. It's like even now what we're doing, this is work. This is this is our jobs to be here and do this. It's all part of it. There's so much more involved than just, I'm going to get up on stage and go, woo, blah. And then you got to always be on.
Yes.
Because people go, oh, they come across so lovely in interviews. Like, well, they kind of have to. They don't want to be. They can't come across as a dick, unless that's their thing.
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't want to do that. No,
Exactly.
But mate, have you ever been to Australia though?
No, it is at the top of my list at the moment, because anyone who knows me knows I absolutely love birds. I have 4 of them, all Australian birds, 2 cockatiels and 2 budgies. And I tune into this live stream it would be your morning, but it's my evening of this cockatoo cafe. This woman just records all the cockatoos on her balcony. Love, like, I could start pulling all the birds I have just around my desk.
Oh, look. There you go.
Oh, you'll love this one. Hello, Nev.
Oh, it's one of them.
This is Anabelle of Cradle of Filth.
That's incredible.
I know, right? so I'm very excited. It's just like, I'm very excited. I'd love to be able to come to Australia. Actually, I wanted to go this year and stay. I mean, Australia, growing up, I was like, I'm terrified of Australia because I'm terrified of spiders. And I'm just convinced they are everywhere all the time, and that anyone who tells me otherwise is lying.
It's true.
Like, nope.
They are everywhere. I mean, there's my roommate. There's they're okay. They're not too bad. Like
8 foot, like sort of like 8-legged freaks film vibe, just everywhere. I was like, oh, I'm going to die if I go to Australia. Like, I'm going to die.
They're right. It's the huntsman here. The huntsmans we get are like the size of my hand. Yeah. I remember we played with who was it? Dark Funeral, and those dudes were all suited up, ready to roll, like paint everything, and they were terrified of this. They were like terrified. I'm giving away the secrets here. Sorry, boys. Of this huntsman on the wall, and I'm just like, oh yeah, and they're like, hey, what are you doing? Like to us, they're just
your mate Bob on the wall. Like, oh, mate, hello, little guy.
They're not the ones you got to worry about. So.
Yes, it's because you've seen so many documentaries of like, someone went to bed and there was a black widow in their sheets, and I'm like, oh, I'd be constantly paranoid. But then you have cockatoos everywhere, and I just want to lay in a field and cover myself in breadcrumbs and let them have at me. And I have so many plans. Like, right when I'm in Australia, I'm just going to be like,
Coast, where I am, there's a place called Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. You heard of it?
No, but tell me more.
In the end of the day, you've heard of rainbow lorikeets?
Yes.
We got tons of them here. They're noisy and they're awesome.
Yeah.
But you can, like, this is something even for when I was like 3 going there, and you can feed them, and there's thousands of them. They all swarm in because they know it's that feed time, and it's like a tourist thing. Like, they just thousands of them everywhere. It's a good time. You should.
Right, Nev, you have to like send me all the pictures now, the videos, the live streaming of them. Oh,
they're awesome.
I love them, and that is something. Of course, I want to come play in Australia, but I also want to play with the birds. Because it would be awesome. That's literally on the other side of the world, and I mean, you can't really get much further away than UK to Australia. I
know, but we got a lot of you guys that live here, so.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, my granddad's brother lives in Australia. It seems to be like a lot of the people retire and just go and live in the middle of nowhere. Like, he's in Adelaide. Just that seems to be quite a popular area for the old Brits.
2 of my best mates are English. You know, down the road.
I'm so sorry.
I know. I love them very much. Bastards.
They're all right.
There you go, all right. But it seems the thing, it's like everyone just wants to go to the arse end of the world. You know, that's where we are. You know, we're lucky here. It's good. And you're going to love it. If you tour here, everything is very far apart. But it's a good time. So hopefully we get to see Cradle of Filth down here so you can experience all that rad stuff. And Australia Zoo, you'll love that too. That's that way where there's all the wildlife and stuff too, where all the bands usually go and check stuff out too.
You'll have to put a list together for me.
I will have the whole. I'll drive the bus.
Itinerary.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for, and you'll love it. But mate, we've been talking for a long time. I'm sorry I've kept you. We've had a good chat.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I enjoy a good chat.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out on the show. Of course, the new Cradle of Filth album, Existence Is Futile. I should have remembered that already. October 22nd through Nuclear Blast. We'll have all the links down here. Anabelle, thank you for hanging. It's been really cool. You're a legend.
Thank you so much. Thank you, good sir. I will salute you with my tea in true British fashion. And I will tell you to stay filthy and live long and prosper.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Whoa.
Can you do both?
I can. But
you can.
But they don't go back to normal. They stay that way. There you go.
Like a platypus.
There you go.
Do you know what? That's a good sign off.
So yeah, see, there you go. I could make a GIF. I can't do both.